Okay, so I just looked. It's 5:22. I bet you if I look right now, it'd be 5:23 because I do that. I see that all the time. It goes from 22 to 23, 22 to 23. It's weird. It's weird how I see the same numbers all day. It's like there's certain numbers that just become my friend. They just, hey, it's weird. But anyways, I'm starting late and I feel so tired. I definitely don't feel good, but I know it's like it's the toxins and the chemicals. I'm going to take another charcoal pill, I think, today. My stomach is still, my head, still so stopped up. And then yesterday I was expecting it. They all of a sudden threw us this rainy ass day the other day. And then, so I went and looked because I keep checking the weather because it seems wacky. And so I didn't think it was supposed to be raining, but they just keep changing it to where it just is kind of like, where you're constantly, did I see that? Was it that way? Where it's kind of like being with a liar. And so, anyways, when I looked, it definitely said that day it was going to rain all day. And then the next day it was going to be nicer, and it was just going to be sunny for like a week. And then it was going to have a couple days of rain. So I was like, okay, we'll just get through this day and then we'll have some nice days. And I had been out working in the yard, so I really wanted to be out there doing stuff. And so then I got up yesterday morning and it was raining again. I was like, what in the hell? So I went and looked on the thing and it said it was supposed to be cloudy all day yesterday. So it was supposed to just be cloudy yesterday, and then today is going to rain again all day. So then it rained all day yesterday. All day it was rainy and cloudy. And it's weird too because it's like the lights come on, but there's no sun. It's like they turn on some sort of light somewhere that lights up so the sky is like a weird color, but there's no sun. Like I was like, where in the fuck is the sun? It is, which just shows more. Is like they can't keep up with their own business. I don't know what they got going out there, but they can't keep up with whatever they're doing. The Truman Show world they got happening here. So, I think I saw an old comment today. It was talking about the hidden history thing, but boy, I have been seeing so many pictures. Oh my gosh. The crazy pictures. And then plus, when did they even tell us that cameras became a thing? Photography, videos. Like, the stuff does not match. Nothing matches. Nothing they say. And all those buildings that, I don't know, it's these Tartarian people that just were, like they had some place and then they just went everywhere and they just were that they mostly were all these people. I think that the people were way bigger. Like, I don't know if we're just trying to get too hung up on. I just think that the buildings that they came to try and occupy, that they said that they built a long time ago with a few hardworking guys, that these are fantastic buildings with ginormous doors and giant ceilings and shit, is it's because they didn't have anything else to do. Wasn't very many people. I mean, why not just spend all your time building ginormous buildings? And so I think, we keep trying to put things together that don't go together. But I think in another time, in another era, another age or something, that the people who inhabited these lands, this place, were huge. And they were obviously, there's been periods of time where things were advanced and then it switches into primitive. It's like there's a giant, what is that? It's the, like the missing links. It's the missing, there's nothing linking it. It doesn't make any sense other than the fact that this is all different ages. It's like different stages. Like the stage gets cleared and then another group comes on, and there's remnants from the last one. And then, as we're trying to put it all together, just because this one's been so built on lies. This one is like a sci-fi B movie, I swear. But it's got a lot of action, a lot of lies. But when I've been watching these old movies, I swear to God, every one of them, they always have these crazy mad scientists that are making mutants in the basement. And some of them, they are trying to save their wife or their sister or something. Others, they just are crazy and they just want to be the first one to make a monster or make a person or something. It's weird how often it is just the theme of all the movies. Like they were really trying to let us know something there. Like it was really setting the tone for where we were headed. And I just think, like, I don't know, it's just so wacky. This place is just such a science lab thing. It's weird too. The whole thing of going through it, then waking up to it, and then like the whole thing. It's weird. It's crazy. And so in it, it's a lot to keep wrapping your mind around and to keep going, and just the amount of dysfunction and toxic behaviors that we have accepted as to be, the acceptable way of living. That is just, it blows my mind. It just is weird. It's very weird because my perspective was so, so shut down for so long. And now that it's coming where, and I think there is more people, like this seems to be a common thread that is happening, that the people who lived like a moral life, that we would be thought that we were so weird and make fun of us or say weird things to us or something like that. But then the way things are turning is now that the people who weren't living the moral life, they're going to feel the shame that they were putting out on other people. Like, oh my God, you don't even know how to have fun. And, there was a common way of looking at things. And now it's the people who, when we were looking at from the other side, now we're speaking and we are saying, the other side of it. Only this side of it now has context. It has a purpose now. It matters. It's weird. It's weird because, for so long it was just like, just accept things the way they were and stuff. Like life was just so, and you couldn't get people to listen or think or anything. And it was so immoral. It was so just everybody fuck everybody over. Nobody gave a shit. And then everybody sit around whining and crying. They got fucked over. And it was just all sorts of just weird stuff. And then, but now, seeing so many more people talking about like the moral side of it, and it's gonna really make the other people feel that nakedness, like, oh my God, I can't believe, of all the different things and whatever things you did do, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad because there was another side. It's just weird when you were the other side and you were, so nobody wanted to acknowledge or listen or something. So it's, I don't know. It was like being the minority and now, and then the dark was the majority. So if you did bad things, you could be comfortable because everybody else was doing bad things. But if you didn't do bad things and you tried to point out the things that were bad, people didn't like that, then you were more of the minority because everybody wanted to enjoy it. But, that's what their soul, like, their souls came for that enjoyment. But there's always a consequence. There's always that consequence. And so... but for those of us who did see it, it was just like years and years of, being the minority And now as things are turning, it's weird to see. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It's just a weird kind of phenomena, kind of to have things turn, and have it be like, you were right. You were right the whole time. And everybody just wouldn't listen to you. And everybody was making fun of you. And, but everybody wanted to go and just, do bad things. And I don't even, you can't just say bad things, but they ended up being bad things because so many people got themselves in, so many problems. Just uh, what are the sleeping around thing, just having one night stands all the time, just sleeping with strangers, that that has got a lot of problems, not just the disease and sickness and the stuff passing around, but it isn't good for people's emotional or mental health either. So it's got, and then the energetic part of it, like there's so many parts where people aren't seeing, but they just want to go out and feel good. They just want to go feel good. They just want someone to make them feel good. They just want, this quick, instantaneous charge. And they don't think about the repercussions after. But, for some of us, it was just, you could just see it different. And, but, you were outcast. Like you weren't doing all of the fun things that other people will go and do. So, anyways, it's weird now seeing it and seeing more people speak up, and it's just like I can see, like, now the voice of reason is being heard. It's like everybody was too having too much fun at the party, and they didn't want to hear it, but now all of a sudden everything's slowing down and everybody's starting to hear it, and everybody's starting to be like, and it's going to be your own amount of embarrassment or shame of what things you participated in, where and it's your personal journey. It's your relationship with your soul. You have to look at it, where you weren't listening to yourself, where you were listening to others, where you were caught up in the moment, where you were following it's all your lessons, it's all your stuff to learn and for you to see. And like that, I did something that was immortal. It was a long, long time ago when I was 19, and I was in London. It was when I was the barmaid, which they just had some huge explosion the other day. They made like a comet had hit or something. Then you don't hear anything about it. Nothing. It's just constantly like this. In Chicago, just is getting run over now with it. Just like a shit ton of all these men going to Chicago. It just is so weird because I don't know what is going to come out about this whole thing, about all of these people. Like, did George just go around to every single country and pay all the men to leave all of their families, and all of these men came over here, and some may be thinking they're coming for a better life. Some may be thinking, I doubt they're all just going to be compliant as to, they're going to get what they can get and then move on. Like, they're not going to just, I don't think all of them are going to sit there and risk their own lives, but there's going to be some, obviously, they're going to go and do a bunch of crimes. And, but yeah, the military starts coming up against these guys. These guys are not going to, these are a bunch of fucking guys, coming from poor countries. They're looking for something. So that's like the backfire on whatever they're trying to do. But it's very strange. Like, if we could see more clearly, but we just see these like chopped up bits, like all these people coming and all these people coming. And it's so strange. And it's happening in all these different countries, which is just so many at one time. And there's so many things happening in countries where countries are being swallowed up by the water, by mud, by ash, by all sorts of stuff that, and I know that they're doing some kinds of evacuations, but without trying to panic people. Because I still think they're doing that like in subliminal messaging in California, trying to get people to just this all the time messaging to get people to think for themselves. Well, they think they're thinking for themselves, to evacuate California, to move inland. And also, it's going to be the same thing with Nevada and Arizona. But I guess, California goes in first. I mean, I don't think that they would have half the country go underwater at one time. Surely it's going to be like a few different events that are going to happen. But, look, I don't know. And so, to me, it has got to be that they are doing some kind of evacuations. And then there's this whole other thing with the whole other drama thing, because we have so many, movie dramas that are happening. Like, Kevin McCarthy's escorted out of the building. Like, I don't even know what else going on in the politics. This is all for them. This is all the people who pay close attention to politics and government. This is all for their awakening to play out. I don't know what they're all expecting. It's going to probably be the opposite, because it's got to be drama. So I don't know what's going to go on, if they're going to now put Trump in as the speaker, and then, there's going to be so much drama. And who knows? It's all just for the show. It's just to make this movie so dramatic. But it just makes it so B-movie, really. It's just so, oh my God, it's just got so much ridiculousness going. And it's got so much drama all happening. I mean, we've got medical drama going. We got government drama going. I don't even know. It seems like they're trying to hide the money drama. It seems like that. I didn't see any people talking about Wall Street yesterday at all. And what things did I see about the Nisargasara? So I don't know what's going on with the other money thing. Because it may be the Vietnam money. Vietnam and Iraq, something about their money being repressed, kind of like with silver or something, them making them be really poor or something, and repressing their money, and their money is going to go way up. But then I would assume there's going to be something, because we're going to go into like one global currency that is just these little, I don't know, a freedom coin or something like that. But it's not going to be something you're just going to go around using all the time, like how we have used cash before. It's not going to be like that, because it's going to be like gold and stuff. And I think probably a lot of people are going to want to keep their gold and silver put up, because that's what everything is going to be, the value of it is based on. So you wouldn't carry around a bunch of gold coins to go up to the market to get stuff. You would just use your card and would pull out of your quantum account. So that part of the digital currency will be true, but it's not going to be based on just this digital world. It's going to have a true value that is based on a global economy that all holds the same value for the same thing. So nobody's jacking it up. But all the countries are going to go into their own resources. And that is a good thing what Trump is making a big thing about with the farmers and the auto what is that? Not auto mechanics. The industry, the automotive industry, where like Ford is shutting down, like they're having more things going. But also there's going to be a big change too in this, because of it's like they're taking jobs away and stuff. But it's also going to go into a time where it's kind of like relieving you, so you have to question it. It's like pulling you apart from your job, so you have to question. So you have to make some different changes, some lifestyle changes. So you are making changes into a better lifestyle for yourself, not just go work for something you're never going to enjoy. So it's going to be much more about enjoying your life, working to enjoy your life, not just, working to exist. So, that things will change a lot, and then it'll go a lot into AI and stuff. But there's still going to be independence in how they fucked Hawaii. How they've fucked Hawaii by the way they go in and they take over, and then they start doing all this outsources where they take a place that was completely independent, where people were able to have everything they needed was right there. And then they come in and they start taking those things away and start making them go outside to get this stuff. And then they start controlling it. And then they start doing inflation. They do all sorts of things. So they drive up the prices to drive people out of their own space. And so they, that's how they do everything. That's how they run everything, is just this manipulation of the economy and the getting us all to be dependent on someone else so that we think it's someone else, but it's really these other people in control, because it's not like the Iraq people were doing it or whatever. There's always these people over who are in control, and they're in all the different countries, and they're all, controlled by fear and death and stuff. Like we're in a serious gangster game up in this part. Those people are serious gangsters. There's no fucking around. These people who are in control of the world. So they control leaders and shit. So they made everybody super poor. So when those countries, when they go and their money has value again, and then we're going to go into the time where everybody is back to having your own shit, your own resources. You're not going outside. So there's going to be big changes to make big differences, where people who've always lived with everything outsourced are not going to realize how significant it is when everything's just right there for you. There was no reason for us to be going and, buying corn from China or something. I'm buying all our fish from fucking China and shit. Like, it's absurd. And so, we have all that of getting back to where we are producing our own stuff. So then there's not shortages and all this wackadoo shit that they tried to create to make us all feel like we're shorted. It's because they're doing it on purpose. So when those monies go up, which should be still this week, if it's not this week, it just shows that it's a part of the drama. It's where the domino's going to go down. Dominoes are already going. I still feel like no matter what, that we have been relieved from debt. That judge said it. The debt clock thing and the little message up there. To me, it all depends on what you watch and how you look at things, what you see. Because there's a lot of people who look at a lot of this stuff, but they see totally different things. So, it's up to you what you see. To me, I see the economy is all collapsing. It all goes with the golden age, the age of Aquarius. It goes all with this giant thing of loss, so that we all reevaluate our lives, and we have this big huge growth that happens in society. It all goes together. And so, and we're in this process of this money, and during this process is where I had learned so much about how corrupt it was, and the bankers and the control and all that stuff. It's like, fuck yeah, this needs to happen. Oh my God, I had no idea. And there's so many people, that they just have no idea because they aren't looking into it. They're stressed out about other shit going on. So, but the money is going, and however it's going to play out, it's just the shuffling of the cards kind of thing, because it's going. So, but each person has to decide for themselves where you're ready to take a risk, where you're willing to, put in your hand or whatever it is. And to me, it's been a process, because I stopped paying some stuff in 2020, then some in 2021, and then some in 2023. And now I just feel, I feel confident that I have not the laws, because the laws were there to corrupt or to control us. And laws don't really have any say over us. There's a big thing that just came out of a Chicago case that we didn't have. There was no reason. They can never tell us we needed driver's licenses. We were allowed to drive, allowed to go and do anything we want. The only time back in the past you ever needed a license is when you were like one of those people who was selling things on the road. So you needed to have a license to sell things, as a traveling salesperson. But any of us, it's called something about commerce or something. And any of us have the rights to just use the roadways and go and do our business without any interference. And but see, they put police in to try, like, the police officers are here to create peace and watch over neighborhoods. But no, that wasn't it at all. It was there to get them placed for control, and so that they could make laws. And these people, like, you have to wear your seatbelt. And then these people come and will come in and ticket you and stuff. All that stuff is against human rights. And so all these different things going to keep coming out about it's against our human rights, our human rights, our human rights. We have human rights. And they tried to come up with laws and mandates and ways to control us. And bankers tried to come up with all sorts of conniving ways to get all our money. And so it's all been deemed as corrupt, and they're all criminals. But it's up to each person as when you're going to be comfortable with it, because there's definitely a lot of people who still don't know. Like, I still don't know whoever came to my driveway. Nobody has showed back up that I've noticed yet. And so I don't know who it was or what they want. And the whole thing, it seems shady as fuck. But even if anybody keeps coming back or whatever, I'm going to keep saying, was what my letter was talking about, and that's what I'm going to keep saying. You're going against my human rights. I have human rights, and the thing is that most of the people don't know, and they're just following orders, and then they think that some people, say weird shit like that are just mentally ill, and so they just think, this lady's a mental case, and but we do have human rights, and they are breaking our human rights, and the crimes right now, or the punishment for it, is probably one that they wouldn't want. And so I'm just going to keep taking that stand. And, but until everybody knows, yeah, it'd be real comfortable if everybody would just suddenly know everything now. If everybody would know, and people would stop going to work, and people would start making big changes. But they keep just trying to keep it together and keep it together and keep this world going. And it is, but that's what these rotten people rely on, is the compliancy of these other people. But all of this stuff has still gone down, whether or not they see it yet, and how they have to slowly keep ripping the Band-Aid off for the people, because the people don't pay any attention, and they panic over every little fucking thing. And so and today's supposed to be our EBS thing, so whatever happens about in the time, I still feel like if they were trying to create so much fear to get everybody to turn off their phones, it's probably something we need to hear. And if it's going to say information that we need to hear about the financial, about any of this stuff. So I don't know, I'm just gonna, because I really feel like if they were going to really blast us, they could do it right now. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Tell you 3 weeks ahead of time, especially while they know everybody is out there researching and shit. They know what they're up against. That's why they keep trying to throw misinformation in to just make things confusing for people. And that's why it's important for you to watch the signs, pay attention to what's going on, and don't just look at it through the narrative. Like, they push so hard on a narrative. They push so hard to get people to see what they want them to see, instead of you coming up with what you see. So, pay attention to the stuff, the politics thing. It's all going down. Whatever, they didn't shut down the other day, who knows what all of that's going to, this whole thing is just going to be a huge drama. Like, who knows what the whole thing with McCarthy, that judge too, that smirky judge that ruled against Trump and stuff. Obviously that guy's committed some crimes. Obviously, they had to get that guy in there to make sure he's going down. Like, just as they keep bringing all these people onto the main stage that are just outrageous and stuff, just keep on ka-ching, ka-ching. It's just another one with a crime, another one with a crime, another one with a crime. All these people are coming onto the stage, so you know who they are. So it's not just a vague name. It's like, that motherfucking guy, that guy, he did, the one who went against him, he did all those things. You know, it's going to be the, you know, it's the outrageous part. It's the, and it keeps going and going and going. Like, I mean, every day there's crazy arrests happening and crazy things coming out about people, and you know, so many, and all of the, just like what I kept saying, it is all the way down to all the small towns of having the rich people go into the small town, start controlling the sheriff. It just repeat all over the place. So it's this same, you know, their same way of doing business has been, you know, it's been effective through so many different places. And so all these different places are, you know, being shown for the crimes and stuff. And people are in, fuck, they're, I mean, you got sheriffs involved with problems with traffic because, you know, where are those rich people going to get their supper? They got to get their supper. So, you know, you get all these people all. So you got people going down every day, all day long, which is people going down. What was this one? This one was what? Is it was I think it was a news report or something. And they're like, yeah, it's like all these regular people are involved, just like regular people, like teachers, and they start going through the list. What did I say? What did I say? I've been saying that a while, but yeah, it's gonna be more and more outrageous because that's the thing. The people were playing the parts. The people were keeping it going, just as people are keeping it going now. Is you know, but they thought that that was all life was. You know, somehow they were cut off from themselves. But I think they were cut off from themselves fully on purpose for this big impactful moment of the soul reveal. Like, so, without me in your life, what do you do? A lot of bad stuff, huh? About a lot of bad stuff. Now we're going to talk about it. So, you're going to ease into that dark night of facing all of the bad stuff you do when you don't listen to your soul. So, you got to listen to your soul. Your soul has, you know, it's going to keep you out of the feeling bad. This is going to keep you more directed into feeling good. So, but, you know, a lot of people got caught up in the world at large, a dark place. But you know what? I mean, and part of it is the allure, but part of it is, you know, a lot of people, I think that they just like, well, everybody else is doing it. What else am I supposed to do? I mean, and anybody who's talking sense, they get made fun of. So, you know, they just went along with the crowd. The majority is just wanted to be more comfortable. But then, you know, it's about to get real uncomfortable because of the choices you've made. Oh, yeah, because I was talking about my immoral thing that I did when I was living in London. And I was a barmaid, and I was going out with this guy, Terry. He was super cute. And I thought he was single, but I don't think he was. I think he was just a shady character. And so we went out one night with some other shady character friend of his. And I didn't know we were going on a robbery. And we went into really rich houses, big giant houses, and they broke into one and they were robbing it. And I was walking around looking at the stuff, and I took something. I took something that I thought was really cool, but then I felt so horrible about taking it that I ended up giving it to somebody because she also liked really old, cool, antique things. And it was just a little container thing. I just thought it was so cool. But still, I felt like I went and stole something that wasn't mine in somebody's house while there's also these people robbing it and who knows what they took. I have no idea. But, you know, I got a different view of what this person was all about at that point. But anyways, you know, I went along with the crowd because I could have ran out of the building and screaming, thieves, thieves, or something, you know, got myself killed. But, you know, you gotta be thinking for yourself too. You know, you can't just always go up against all of the criminals. Like, I mean, there's lots of people. I think they got jobs in places that had no idea that everybody who worked there was a bunch of fucking criminals. So, you know, a lot of people have gotten themselves into positions not, that's the thing about intention. That's one thing too, is to remember it has to do with your intention. Were you intending to hurt people? If you got caught up in certain things, then, it's all about this facing yourself, and all of these things that are going to keep coming to the surface, and the parts of you that you have to face. And, being an impatient person is going to be hard. All of the different things that are parts of you that, kind of like the parts that you're not satisfied with, that you want to change. It can feel overwhelming because you want to make these changes to yourself, and it seems like, how do you even start? Most people have themselves so beat down, they just think, well, I'm just some sort of reject, I'm just abused, I'm a victim. Like, it's so crazy, like how it is so a part of our society. It's a part of this whole way of being, is to be a victim. Poor you, poor you. Let's just all, yeah, you're fucked. You're fucked. You're just fucked. It's just like, how did we get such a just defeatist attitude? Just so, yeah, life sucks. We just all suck. Everybody sucks. I suck. You suck. It's just like, hey, people got to see, like, that's your energy you're putting out. That is, you're putting out a sucky energy. Like, you are feeling like the victim, then life is going to treat you like the victim. You're going to look at everything through the victim's eyes. It's how you're going to see things. You got to, the whole thing is, too, is when you're looking at yourself through the victim, all you got to do is just lift that coin just a little bit. Look under there, see the other side. And the more you can see the other side, the less you're going to feel like the victim. The more you're going to find balance in seeing is there's more to the story than just what you want to look at, just the part you want to stay stuck on. Is your victim role. You got to hold that story in place. It's got to stay just the way it is so that you can stay in that victim role. But when you start, lifting the coins and you start looking at both sides and you start seeing, like, fuck, yeah, just think about in a relationship where you've been and you felt so victimized and so abused by this person. But the crazy thing is the other person felt the same way by you. And most women, I think, because they talk so much, then they can start, convincing themselves it's just all the men. It's just the men. But the men are feeling just as victimized and beat down as the women. And not just about the physical, but there is men who are getting the snot beat out of them by girls who just are out of control too, just pounding their faces in. I saw a guy who just did this video, and he was trying to show the abuse isn't just men. This woman, and his face was just like two black eyes, and he was just, there's women out there who go crazy, and they rely on men not hitting them back, and they're abusive. And there's women out there who are manipulative, abusive. There's women out there who scream and cry. There's all sorts of ways that people abuse people. But to just think that it's just women being abused by men is, that's just a part of the victim role anyways. Because the men also feel as victimized. The men also feel as beat down. The men also feel as confused. They also feel frustrated that they can't get a relationship that they want. And, so because the whole thing is that people have just become so toxic, and they just all keep dating each other and just accepting it. And, and then they all get in this fear. It's just so crazy. You end a relationship, and the next day you're out there exposing yourself, and you're trying to use your body or something. And there's this one girl, and she, she seems like this really intelligent, like she really wants to be in a relationship with an intelligent man, a grown-ass man, like she wants to sit and talk about things, and but then in her videos she's always doing so much exposing her body, and it's like, and and she has all the big lashes and stuff. And there's so many men who are speaking up now about, like, they don't like the lashes, they don't like all the makeup, they just like women just plain old faces. They're not all into all of that fake stuff. And the women are doing it for other women, they're not doing it for the men. And the men are saying, I don't like it. So a lot of women who are out there putting that out there, like, oh, I'm all fixed up, I've got all my makeup, I've got the lashes, but men are out there saying, I don't like that. You can sit there in a t-shirt with no makeup and they're happy. If it's what's inside, it's the personality, it's not just the package. People have seen through the package now. We've seen, like, no, we were caught up in what was in the wrapper, but when we opened the package, it wasn't what we thought. And so, we've all gone through this experience now. We're a little more weary, like, but there's still, we're still in another round of people who are still in that experience, still trying to learn it. And so they're still out there, beating their heads up against the wall. This girl, she's always just putting a sexy pose with little bit, a lot of skin showing, and then get it all set up for the perfect pose and stuff, and then talk about the frustrations in dating and how she just really wants this great solid guy, and all that stuff. And it's just like, it's just like there's like a miscommunication. You're so busy out there looking for what it is you want, but you're not listening to what other people want. Because other people want authenticity. They want just natural. They just want regular. They don't want to have to go through all this artificial shit. They don't want to have a girl who just will take any old guy that comes along. First one, he tells her she has nice shoulders, and she's got him over for dinner. It's like, there's got to be more to it. There's got to be something deeper. That's why I keep saying, if you want really something solid in a relationship, the journey is to you. It's you finding you. You go, and on the journey, you will cross paths with the people, or as you raise your vibration, as you follow your journey, as you become your best self, and don't just focus on, these relationships to fill in. It's like a distraction. Make me feel better. Make me feel better. And when you are figuring out how to make yourself feel better, how you are in your journey to self, then on that path is when people who are good for you will come across your path. A really good solid friend, a really good solid relationship, people who are in alignment with you. And the weird thing is like, because we're in this transitional time, so if you start working on you, that whoever is supposed to also be meeting up with you, that is going to also trigger them to start working on them, so that you guys are matching energies through a certain period of time. So it's not like, just because you decided to choose you and you're going to go take a cooking class because you always wanted to learn to cook. And so you're expecting that cooking class, Mr. Right's going to be standing there because now you're making the right choice. You got to remember that your true alignment, you just trigger them to start doing the same thing. So now you're both on this journey to self. And so you are matching each other's energies, but that doesn't mean that your paths are going to cross. Your paths will cross when the paths are meant to cross. Until then, you're matching one another's energies. And so you got to really work on this falling in love with yourself, not just like, okay, well, I'll go on a couple dates with you until the right guy comes along. What do you want to do tonight? Okay, well, we could go to the movies. Okay, well, we could, order some Chinese and we'll stay in and read a book together. You got to be more about the real, like, what do you want to do? What are you interested in? It's a real journey to yourself, If, it's not just, occupy some space until someone comes along. It's really to get it there, like that girl who is missing the whole concept because she is like, well, why would I want to buy flowers for myself? Like, why would I want to go out to dinner by myself? Why would I want to, um, be celibate? Or I think celibate's the wrong word. I think it's asexual is more. And, for all the reasons to understand yourself, to know yourself, to know your body, to know your likes, to know what you're good at, to know what you have to offer the world. It's the journey into understanding yourself. And if you're always focused on everybody else and, your husband, your kids, and all that stuff, you don't get the pleasure of really getting to know yourself. Even if you're a mom and you've got kids and stuff, you've got to take that time for yourself. It isn't just like where all these girls think like, well, I got to take time to myself. I'm going to go to the spa. I'm going to get all the treatments done. No, that is, you're spending some money on yourself. You're trying to give yourself something you feel you deserve with all of the money that you have made. You're trying to funnel some back to you to make yourself feel better about going to work so much. But no, that's not time to yourself. Just like I tried to tell my daughter, just reading book after book after book is not time for yourself. That's a distraction. It's one thing, if you don't have a lot of time to read and it's like, oh, I'm going to really go do something for myself. And I'm going to take a day and I'm going to go read this book that I've wanted to read for a long time. That is, doing something for yourself. But if every single day you spend all day reading and then you're like, well, I'm going to go do something for myself, I'm going to go read, then, you do something else for yourself. Try something else. There's got to be something else that you're good at. Like, well, cooking is always like, cooking is a fun one. I mean, it's not like you can really do a lot of damage. You just throw it away if it doesn't work out. But there's a lot of creativity, a lot of fun things you can do with cooking. That what with spices. There's all sorts of things that you can do. You may find yourself to be like a really good cook, and you had no idea. You could be a really good at sewing and making clothes or making things. You could be a good basket weaver. There's parts of your DNA that you're not even accessing. You're not even going out and trying to understand yourself or find yourself. So it's the journey to yourself. What are you interested in? What things draw you in? Maybe you want to be a cosplay person and you've always been intimidated and you didn't want to ever do it, but now's the time. Get out there and make yourself a costume and get out there and be silly. Have fun in the world. Don't just stay all uptight all the time and trying to be the perfect person. You let your silly side out. That's on your other side of the coin. If you're all uptight trying to be all perfect, you got a silly side in there hiding away. It just is yearning to get out, and you got to let that side out some too. And so, you've got to find that balance in you. But let me think. So I feel like I'm going off on that. But to me, just jumping from one relationship to another is you're losing a whole parts of yourself, and going out and finding yourself is going to bring you into a positive alignment. And you have people who are out there to match your positive alignment, just as there's multiple people out there to match your negative alignments. You've got an endless supply of toxic people to go out and date and to swim around in the abyss out there. Toxic characteristics and relationships and dating and stuff. There's all lessons, it's all stuff you can learn, but don't sit around just being the victim. Like, it's just poor you. You're making bad choices. Poor you is making bad choices, but you can't just sit here and be like, it's just like this guy did this video and he went and bought some of those 50-cent burgers or whatever, and then he was all upset because as soon as he ate them, he got so sick and he was, I think he was puking and having diarrhea. But it's like, you're going out and making these choices. You can't just sit here and play the victim. You are going and you are, if you're swiping right, you're just looking for drama. You're looking for, your life is obviously so empty, because is that really that quick little interaction is really going to make your day? Like, I'll tell you, I think the best orgasms I've ever had is by myself. Like, so I don't know what these people are out there trying to get. It's like they're looking for some sort of a contact, some sort of a connection, some sort of somebody make me feel better. And they're using sex in order to get a physical contact with somebody. But it is the longing of it wanting something to connect to. And so, you've got to, there's like this whole just deeper side of life. It is so much deeper, and it is going deeper. Like, we're definitely going into the deeper. We're not, the people who are in the super shallow right now are going to feel really exposed. And I don't know, if it's going to just keep being slow things that are just going to keep being more of, everything is going to be challenging your way you look at things, challenging how you see things. That's what is, that's the awakening. That's what's going on, is the challenging for you to start. The whole thing is you becoming you deciding what you like, you deciding who you are and stuff. So that's what is challenging you, is to define you, to become so much of you that there's no room for anybody else inside of you. So all of these challenges and stuff, all of these things happening, all of the universe is going to keep making you have to look at things, have to see them. It's going to just go over and over in your mind until you see it. And that is, we've got so many people who have problems with distracting themselves. Just go to the bar, go drink. Don't, drama is a huge distraction too. Create drama. But the thing that you need to do is sit with yourself, sit with your information, and ask yourself questions so that you can see yourself more clearly, so you can understand yourself more clearly. And because everybody is just kind of caught up in this world, and they don't see themselves clearly. They don't see themselves for who they really are. There's just a huge distortion. The veil that goes down over their vision is like where you don't see yourself. You don't, so many people don't see themselves as like the eternal being, that you are the angel, you are the God. All these things that you look up to, you are those things. You are this, this powerful energy. And it's just in this game that they've convinced you of all your limitations, that but it's just a game. You're just in this game. And it's kind of a memory game too, I think, kind of to get you to remember who you are, to get you to understand the importance that you are in the whole spectrum of reality, that you are as significant as anybody else. Every single person has the same significance. There's nobody that is less important. You could come up with some old homeless, old beat up, crapped out guy laying on the side of the road. Yeah, he's just as important as you. That makes no difference. He's playing his role. That's the role he's playing. And in his own life path, was it on his path that he was going to do something different? Was it the things that happened to him got him to where he is? Like, it's all different things, because that is his own life journey. And he's still playing roles. Like, we're all playing roles for everybody. We're all on our own life journey, and we're all playing a bigger picture role for the universe. Like, everything is so micro, macro. Everything is so much bigger. Everything is a radiation of what it is. everything goes out. That's like the micro, macro. Everything is an expression of everything else. And so it is, everything, it just is such a much bigger picture than what's going on. And people just have such limited views of themselves, limited views of what this place is, limited views of what's going on here. And that creates so much fear. And then they all get, super scared. And the people watching the government and stuff, they're playing an important role, but they are all, they do live in a lot of fear. They are on the edge of their seats over every little thing that the government does. And it's so crazy because some of these people, like I've seen them doing the same thing for years. And it just is weird. It's like, why don't they just all of a sudden see? And, but see, if you're playing a role, you don't see until you're supposed to see. Then when you see, you'll see what you're supposed to see. You see everything. And what you see can make you feel bad about what you didn't see. So, I think that they're playing a role. They're not meant to see yet. They're not meant to see the whole thing. But it's some of them too. It's like some of it has to blow up in their face. Like some of them are showing such a dark side of themselves, such a angry, so all those things all have to be purged out. See, that's their stuff. It works well for them that they have that focus, and it's going to bring up all this stuff that they need to purge out. Like everything is very so precise of how things are meant to play out and stuff. And your lessons are very important. So don't get caught up in just the overall trauma and tragedy going on the planet, because your lessons are what you are really here to experience. Your growth, your evolution, that's the ascension. That is your ascension. That's your growth. As you're taking this opportunity, the planet's giving you an opportunity to ascend. Like they're bringing all this energy in to help you to see, to think, to access, to help you to grow and expand and evolve yourself. And so that is, it's happening. And it all has to do, with we're going to be relieved from debt. We're going to be relieved from money, the whole money system, the way that it was. It was just corrupt. It was like Bitcoin becoming the whole thing. These people just, all of a sudden they make us all be on their thing. So, now it's going to be exposed for what it was. But in the exposing, we are going to have all this big change that's going to keep it happening. So, and because it's all such big change, they have to like maneuver through the people who, it's like a bunch of mentally unstable people are inhabiting the world. And so the people who are trying to facilitate the awakening have to do it with like baby steps. Like you gotta be really careful because people are so fragile. And there's going to be a ton of suicide, and there'll be a ton of like the murder suicide too. There's going to be a lot more stuff like that's going to keep going for a while. That's why, where they try and say that this isn't the tribulation. Like, what? This is definitely the time of all of this trauma, of all of this horrible stuff. We're going to go in once this horrible stuff goes down, then we're going into the good times. But this is the bad times. This is the hard times. This is the times that you need to use for your growth, for your purging out. This is the proper time to do these things. And that, that's why it bothers me where there's people who are being misguided, but that's a part of it. I don't know, if it's going to be a part of the censorship and the control when it comes out, like people who were like me, who were trying to help people, and we were being repressed and not being able to be heard, and that they were promoting these people who were doing more, causing people to have more problems and stuff. They were giving those people all platforms, but the people who were trying to help people, we were all being repressed or censored or whatever. If that's going to be a part of that, you know, I don't know. It's going to be something, though. It's going to be something part of the lessons, I say. Especially even like when they finally let my video go on, because however, sometimes, you know, they'll make me download it for 9 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours. No, never 2 hours. 3 hours, I think, is the shortest it's ever been. I maybe 2 hours when I was in Spokane and it had really good Wi-Fi. But I think here at my house, 3 hours is the shortest, but it's gone for like fucking 8 hours before. But then for it to go like that, and then for the people to try and watch the video and for it to do that to them, where it just keeps spinning for 8 or 9 hours. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous, the amount of censorship that some of us have had to endure, you know. And if it weren't for my strong guidance and the support of all you guys, it would be easy to just go, fuck this, you know, because of, I mean, it's only recent, even where there's got to be some people who've got to listen and hear me. And still, I don't know what they're doing about if they are have me blocked off again, because it's like no new followers ever. It's like one in a week, but then you get all these views. So and then plus I see numbers change, like they're just messing with things. So, and that's fucking corrupt. That's illegal. And it also, there's things, and I saw about this in 2020 when it was happening to other people when they were messing with their accounts, and that is messing with somebody's business, and that's a big thing. So all of the things that they do to mess with my account is interfering with my livelihood or my making a business. And so that is also a part of going against our human rights. And I am, you know, I saw that because of they did a giant sweep in 2020 when, you know, I said there was all sorts of accounts that were going, and they would be live all day. It was really fun. You just go from one live thing to another. It was always a live one going. There was always people would be like, oh, so-and-so is going live. Got to get over to that one, you know, and go over to the next one. And people would go in and talk. And then plus everybody would be talking about what was going on in the world. And, you know, and so you had a whole huge group of people saying, this is some bullshit. You know, we knew it was some bullshit. But that's why they went in and they just swept. They took down all those accounts. They just took them all. And that really fucked a lot of people, because those were some accounts that have been built up for a long time. And so they really fucked them over. Hold on. Going out? Stella, why do you do that? I'll give you a treat and you go lay down. I mean it. No, I'm busy doing something. Go lay down. See, she's so bossy. If she doesn't get what she wants, she'll just continue to have a fit. She'll cry. She'll hit things. It's so funny, too, if she starts jumping. She's so cute. God, I love that girl. And she's about to be 6 years old. She'll turn 6 on October 28th. So I'm so excited about that. I'm like, fuck. There was so much time where I was like, God, is she even going to make it to be 5? Now we're at 6. So this last year was really rough. But that's where I just feel certain. It's the chemicals and shit that they pour on us. And then plus they just rain it down. And it's a fucking headache, throat, my stomach. It was totally just stopped up. It's so stopped up in my throat, man, in my head and my neck. I just feel like this is where I think where people start going, oh my God, I've got the sickness. I've got to go do a test. Oh my God, I've got it. You know, and to me, it's like, no, the symptoms are arsenic, if you ask me. The same thing. Go look up all the symptoms for all the different things. So that's where I go with it. I'm just like, fuck, more detoxing. Take some more charcoal. Just do some more resting. I just feel so exhausted. It's so weird. So weird how I was just like a couple weeks ago sleeping just like a couple hours and I felt so fine. And all of a sudden it was like, I swear to God, it feels like drugged. If they don't come out with the truth about that, I really, really feel like it's already been coming out in other places where they've gotten busted that they were drugging and stuff. Certain smaller things, areas. I don't even know what this stuff is in Camp Lejeune or whatever. I don't know all these different things, but I know this stuff is coming out. And so I don't know if that's going to be good enough, but I would really like it if they would come out and actually say to us, yeah, we were dumping this on you guys, and like maybe when we go to the med beds, maybe we get hooked up to a thing and it tells what toxins we've had or something. I don't know, but I really feel like it's some sort of drugs, especially with those energy drinks now where the people are doing the tests and there's just straight up drugs in them. Or they can't, it shows drugs in the tests. And so they put drugs in all of our stuff. They don't give a fuck. So, and as when I was out walking, as where I noticed at first was, I think, because I remember thinking about it smelled like a dentist office. And then I would feel super like lightheaded. And then I would feel really tired. But ever since 2020, because I even talked about that with my mom, because she was saying the same thing. She said, some days doesn't it just seem like all of a sudden you just can't stay awake no matter what? You just have to lay down and go to sleep. And I was like, yeah, it's weird. It's like being drugged or something. It's like you're just sitting there and all of a sudden you just can't stay awake. And so she agreed. And we aren't even in the same city. We're in the same state though. And so that's what I think. I think that it is, oh God, see, this is how it goes all day long. Stella, will you stop? Let me finish what I'm doing. Lady, come over here. She's sitting down back there. Stella, come over here. She's so cute. She's so sweet. See, yeah, it's hard for me to not do everything she wants because she's so sweet. I've created a monster. Can you come over here, please? Anyway, I don't know that I had a bunch more to even say. I'll probably come back and do another one though later. I'll go put this one on. Let's see how fast this one goes. Maybe if they download them way faster, if they're shorter like this, then I'll just do a bunch of shorter ones. Just do like a whole bunch of shorter ones during the day. But anyways, I'll put this one on real quick because she's going to keep interrupting. And then I'll just come back and I'll talk some more later. Maybe I'll go live or something. We'll see how the day goes. But anyways, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.